Here we go. Thank you. So, as Nick said, I'm Head of Knowledge Exchange here at Edinburgh Napier University, which really means head of a group of brilliant people. As the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Computing Engineering and the Built Environment said, we're investing in people. And the team that I lead are, absolutely fantastic. And Napier really does have a fantastic team working at that interface between industry and academia. So I'm here to talk to you about the Innovation Hub, which is a new innovation hub that we are showcasing Edinburgh Napier capabilities. But the concept of showcasing is absolutely nothing new to Edinburgh Napier. It's actually in Edinburgh Napier's DNA. Even the room that you registered in was built maybe decades ago, and was actually built for the purpose of showcasing Edinburgh Napier to the outside world. And we call it the glass room. And as you can see, it's on that sort of peripheral position between the campus and the outside world. So it's nothing new to Edinburgh Napier. But government interest in this area and investment in this area has increased, and particularly over the past, I'd say, 15 to 20 years. And going back to, this is a Scottish government agenda as well as a UK government agenda, and actually a global government agenda. And there's been a lot of reviews. So the one I just showed you, the Whitty Review, was an industry view of how universities play a role in growth, in economic growth. The Dowling Review in 2015 looked at business and university interactions and collaborations. We had more recently, in 2018, this was a Scottish Government commissioned report from a university principal, the driving innovation in Scotland, and that was very much a university's perspective. And much more recently, in 2022, Scotland's National Strategy for Economic Transformation, which is called NSET, really positions universities as key to innovation and the role of universities and the return on investment that's demanded from universities for the investment that the government place into universities is very, very important. But more relevant to today's audience is the Scottish Technology Ecosystem Review by Mark Logan, which was published, I think, 2020 again. And in that, there were a number of recommendations by Mark Logan, and Mark he's actually managed to make some of that happen. So not only did he write the review, but he's also been appointed by the Scottish Government as the Chief Technological Officer. I might have got the wrong title, apologies, Mark. But essentially, he's now driving some of the recommendations that are in that report. So that's really exciting. I want to touch on two of these reports in a little bit more detail as context to a little bit about Edinburgh Napier's Innovation Hub. So from the Dowling Review, I wanted to show this landscape map, which really shows the complexity of the innovation support ecosystem. Now, this isn't about tech, this is more broadly. And here at Edinburgh Napier and the team that I lead, we support a whole range of academic disciplines and a whole range of industries and sectors. So within this, we show universities and businesses as if it's one big homogeneous set of groups, but the complexity is much more than that, as we all know. What you see around about is a growing ecosystem of support. So there's research funders, and we've got many of these funders speaking later in this session. And that's a complex ecosystem. But again, later today, we'll hear from Fiona Mason, who will talk to you in more detail about the support that's available from the university to try and create knowledge exchange, innovation support staff who will help create those, work with academics and industry to create those new technologies, those new products, services and business models. So about the things that are happening around the tech sector, or the tech ecosystem, we have a Scottish Government investment in these new, what are called Tech Scaler programme. So as you can see from the diagram on the right, there's 7 of these across Scotland. They're just being set up now as we speak. Edinburgh Napier are a partner in this, and in the Edinburgh one in particular, working very closely with Codebase. But what these are about creating and developing that ecosystem, or that support ecosystem, and culture that can help new startups come into being, but also to scale. So that's a really important angle, the scaling of our tech startups. And as was mentioned earlier, with the ultimate aim of creating a tech unicorn right here coming out of Scotland. We also want to maximise societal and economic impact from that, and that's about scaling, about the benefits for Scotland, keeping those benefits in Scotland. And the actual mechanics of this come down to education, mentoring, community building, and creating workspaces and environments, physical environments for those startups and to scale. Today's symposium is very much about showcasing Edinburgh Napier, as you can see at the bottom, with deep knowledge in many relevant areas. But I think it's really, really important to emphasise that we want to also help you with the horizon scanning. Horizon scanning, we want to help build the community, and in that way, this is almost like a tech scaler event, because we're actually leaning into that agenda which Mark Logan has so successfully received funding for, and this is almost like one of those marketplace events that were talked about in his review. So really happy to be doing this event in this timely manner and just being able to join in and lean in to that agenda. So Innovation Hub, we are at Napier working very much to showcase and show people the art of the possible in terms of what our capabilities are, and the way we're going about that is to create events, but also online spaces where people can see through case studies what we have to offer. So I'm just going to play a short video, if that's okay. It's 2 minutes. I'm okay with that, Nick? Just 2-minute video as an example. But before I go into the video, I wanted to just talk to you about the Napier effect. This concept describes the effect that Napier has when a company or organisation has an issue, they might have a problem, they might have an opportunity, and then Napier academics become involved, and the Napier effect is where we have the solution, maybe new products, new services, better competitiveness, and so we call that the Napier effect. So I'm just going to run the video, and I hope you get the idea.
At Edinburgh Napier, we want to use our expertise to make an impact in the real world. We work in areas such as blockchain, cryptography, and digital identity, and we have focused much of our research on how to fight the growing global threat of cybercrime. Our research has led to the creation of 4 successful spin-out companies: Symphonic, Symposium, Memcrypt, and Zoefox, that are now worth millions of pounds. Symposium, for example, has created software that reduces the time it takes to produce credible digital forensics evidence.
When the police investigate child exploitation cases, digital evidence is vital. But the problem is, it can take months to gather. This is due to delays caused by backlogs of devices waiting to be searched, and the amount of detailed work required to search each one. At Symposium, we've created software that speeds up the process of scanning devices for lethal imagery. This in turn speeds up police investigations.
Symposium's software has enabled the police to rapidly analyse seized devices and find indecent images already known to them. It allows them to identify and categorise the severity of illegal imagery, and thus reduces the number of images officers have to view.
Digital evidence now plays a role in 90% of criminal cases, and our software has been proven to provide it between 20 and 100 times faster than was previously thought possible. It's making a real difference in detecting cybercrime, speeding up digital forensics, and making the world a safer